senior developers, the price per hour is pretty high. When you will spend time to regulating or managing regulating the administration, it means that they will not get enough money maybe due to spending the time. But again, it depends on the scale of the conflict, because if it rather than if this conflict bothers both members and these team members are crucial for your team, it makes sense to spend some time to do this. Again, the next phase here.
Okay.
And I have a question, what's the problem in this case? So they would like to change the direction of the project, so is it going to be so stressful for people, or is it
I mean that here the problem is for instance, you planned as the project will end, for instance, you are working on one part of the mobile application, for instance, and you will end this at the end of this year. And now you are in the point where you should change the direction of the project, and maybe you work on the whole mobile application, not into iterative production, for instance. And it prolonged the project for half a year, for instance. But at the moment you have a team who expect, let's imagine, who expect to gain the bonuses at the end of the project, and they are waiting to get this month, but due to new direction, maybe reorganization of the company, the project is prolonged, and it means that they don't get bonuses at the end this year, maybe this month. So something global and problematically, it's just my imagination. You can imagine here.
Okay. For me, speaking, I would put this into a context. Let's say we're developing, let's say, a game or a software for people to use.
Okay.
If, let's say, the team leader comes up with a plan to change the direction, my first question would be, is there a new discovery? Why are we going in the different direction which was originally planned? That would be one. Secondly, I would like to know the costs. The cost in terms of time and finance. Okay, I would ask my team, if possible, to do the project as originally planned, and probably come up with an update later in the future to add this new direction which they want the project to be in. For example, maybe they want to have, let's say, a game that that can determine probably where you are and match you with someone who wants to talk to you about something, okay? And then they're intending to maybe expand it to go maybe international. Let's say we are designing for just Russia before. So I would say, okay, instead of just coming out with the first one that considers everyone, why not we go with the number one which we plan for? Okay, the one for Russia, okay? We try it, it's in the market, we test it, and then over time, we can improve on that and then add a new version, which is a new direction which you are planning. Instead of taking time, our competitors may come up with something similar or better, and then we would lose market share or something like that. Even thirdly, we could look at the financial part of it because, of course, let's say we have paid upfront for people who are working on this project, okay? And then the company doesn't have any money somewhere for extra time or extra payment. So why not we do what we have agreed to do, and then in our review process or recommendation, we say, okay, in the next few months, we are going to roll out a new direction, a new part of this project. That would be my suggestion to the team.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone thoughts? Okay, but let's again, pretty good decision. Of course, I see that you have some experience in project management, and that's why you add some context which we don't have here. But again, what if we are talking about emotional intelligence? Which phrases would you use for your team? Just let's imagine our team, the whole team, are hardly working on the project, and now we should change something. We don't know what. We don't know. Maybe we should change the customer. Maybe we should change the whole design. Maybe we should change something, technical features which we are working on, for 2 months, and it's out that this feature is not suitable here, is not applicable, can be applicable, and you should redone your work for time, for instance. Your whole team should redone their work. Which phrases would you use regarding, again, that we talk about different types of people, we talk about motivation, we talk about many other things, we talk about emotional leadership. How would you create the atmosphere of openness and happiness in this case?
Okay, I should probably look at their level of exhaustion. Yeah, from the previous implementation of the previous plan, look at the level of exhaustion, how much they have put in, and if they're open to the idea of changing in this new direction. Okay, I would also consider if this new direction is, I will look at their ambience. Okay, if they are really motivated to do this, because for them to suggest this to the boss, like, oh no boss, we want to go this way, it means there's something pushing them, there's an inner, so I would look at those aspects and like, okay, since you guys are coming up with this whole thing, okay, I agree with you. You're not going to, of course, totally disagree with your team. That would be like just throwing away the baby and the bathwater.
Like some sort of admit the previous success.
Yeah, exactly, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. And again, the last case here, but I would like to give some recommendations here. Again, when we discussing and implementing the techniques of emotional with a person, or ability of a person with well-developed emotional intelligence, you're a leader, you're an emotional leader, you have high EQ and recommendations. You always should recognize emotions, your emotion. You can talk about your own emotion with your teammates, with your team members. You should recognize the perspective, report, when you're trying to establish the report with your communicating interlocutor. You should recognize his or her emotions. You should demonstrate empathy, again, effective communication. Conflict resolution, we discussed it in the first case when we say about navigating through the conflict between member A and between member B.
Yes.
And motivation and inspiration, that's what Daniel were talked about in the second one. using this recommendation, remember these, golden rules of emotional intelligence, and keep in mind the themes and points and statements we discussed at the beginning of our lessons. Let's try to resolve this problem. And I will offer here someone, maybe one person, to play a role of emotional leader here and work with the whole group.